President Trump doubles down on the Democrats at tonight's rally in West Virginia. And one of those Republicans running is House Intel Committee Chairman Devin Nunes, who is back with me here in New York in part 2 of this live Justice exclusive. You know, Chairman Nunes, you really were the topic of a lot of headlines, a lot of discussions on television as it related to the memo related to the investigation of the FISA warrant. The president last week or the week before said he was going to declassify the information relating to that. And I must tell you personally, everyone I talk to across the country wants this declassified. He was with it, declassify it, no redactions. All of a sudden, he said, I'm going to give it to the Inspector General. What happened?
I'm guessing that many people that don't want this out went to the White House and had a meeting and told the president a bunch of things that weren't true, like things about scaring that our allies don't want this out, which is a ridiculous statement. I mean, how would the allies even know what's in a FISA warrant? Right. So I think the president got a little spooked on this, then turns it over, says he's going to have the IG look at it. But look, we've worked so hard to get this information out to the American people. We want full transparency here on all the matters. Right. So there's 20 pages of the rest of the content of the FISA that we want out. And why this is so important is because this gets to the insurance policy that, remember, Strzok and Page were talking about? We believe this was the insurance policy, okay? Clearly. The content that's left. You also have people who are saying, oh, the really bad stuff, it really wasn't the dossier. It wasn't the dossier that was used, the Crystal dossier, and it wasn't the fake news stories. It was really all that stuff that's behind the redactions, okay? So it's not true. What's behind those redactions, the American people do need to know about. All right, so let's say that, you know, if they're worried about sources and methods and national security, that stuff can come out. I mean, that's simple to do. But I wonder, is this connected to Rod Rosenstein? He's fired, he's not fired. There's a meeting, there's not a meeting. Is this about Rosenstein applying leverage of some sort? Because it seems to me he's the one who's going to fall when this is exposed. Well, he signed the last renewal of the FISA. So really, I don't even know why he would be even involved in this process. I mean, he should not be advising the president on this because he signed the last FISA. We in Congress, so everybody in Congress, the speaker, the leader, the whip, the whole Intelligence Committee, nearly every Republican has called for these documents to be declassified. And the president did, but changed his mind. And changed his mind. So if Rosenstein was involved in that process, I mean, that should be an immediate dismissal of whatever happened in that meeting. Because remember, every time we've we've moved to get things declassified, what do they say? They say that we're going to ruin national security. And what happens every time? The information comes out, and it makes Department of Justice, FBI, and all the Clinton campaign people and Fusion GPS, they all look bad. You found massive abuse. Now that it's been forwarded to the Inspector General, he's done an investigation on Comey and McCabe, and honestly, I'm not impressed, to be honest with you. I mean, you know, good for him, but there's nothing that comes of this. All right? I mean, I could have impaneled a grand jury to indict McCabe without the Inspector General giving me a 500-page report. All right? So what is the IG doing? Look, the IG's fine. It's great. Yeah, he's a good guy. Who can look at it. But we are a separate branch of government. We created the Department of Justice. We have every right to see that information. We have decided that the American people need to see this information. The president wants the American people to see the information. So how is it possible that this can be held up? And I think all they're trying to do is stall till after the midterms. I've always believed this. But we are right at the end, right? We've got 20 pages of the content, which is the insurance policy. We have the Bruce Orr 302s, right, which are the reports. So remember, this is Bruce Orr's wife was working for Fusion GPS, which is essentially working for the Clinton campaign as this was being funneled into the FBI to open up and start and investigate the Trump campaign. So why would we still be here, you know, nearly a month away from the elections, and we still can't get transparency out to the American people? So the president's got to do something. Well, you know, I've heard he watches the show. So we'll see. Too. I've seen him live on this show, calling in, Congressman, eating up the whole show. Congressman, thank you so much for being here. It's an honor.